City of Warman continues to lead Canada as one of the fastest growing cities in the country. We have the mayor, Gary Philipchuk, with us today. Gary, thanks so much for coming down.
It's great to be here.
I want to talk, first of all, about you and how you got involved in politics.
Well, I've actually been involved in politics for quite a long time. It's about 20 years. So it all started with me being a vice principal at Warman High School, and I was looking at everything that was happening at Warman at the time, and we were looking at an expansion at Warman High School. But what we were going to do was a $4 million project at the time, and it really just didn't seem like enough. And then the Secretary Treasurer shoulder tapped me and said, if you want to have more voice, you should probably run for council. And so I did run for council, and we really worked towards a partnership. And actually that $4 million project jumped up to a $15 million project, which is now the Warman High School with a triple gym and a walking track around the top, and really a fabulous facility. I think it is still the largest single gym in the province for high schools, and it really the model like the University of Saskatchewan, when 3 different gyms really used for all the activities that are there. So it went to a much bigger project than that really was serving the future. Yeah.
So the city itself has grown tremendously the past 2 decades, if you say that. Now, you're mentioning that it's a fairly new city in that sense with the infrastructure and so on, with the growth that you've had.
Yeah, since I've been there, it was around 4,000 people. So we've doubled. And so with that, everything underground, which is very costly within a city, is all new. So it's all less than 20 years old. And we're hearing a lot about asset management now. We're really far ahead in that area. And I mean, Warman distinguishes itself a little bit different too, that we have storm sewers, we have things for big city that we're ready for growth, and we just added more our water reservoir too to really look at wastewater. So we're ready to go up to 24,000 and with capacity to be even grow up to the 50,000 range without doing much more.
Does that come into play with the P4G plan in a larger sense then?
Well, really P4G, we're working together in that group, but we are starting to look at what are the projects, and we're looking at some of the projects that are in the area that would maybe look at water for attracting very large processing plants and areas like that. So we've set ourselves up ready to be a part of those projects when need be. So in some ways we're taking care of our own, and we have the linkage ready to go really in the direction needed.
So it's a matter of positioning the city for that anticipated growth. What do you like in terms of your role as the mayor and seeing this unfold in front of you?
Well, I think the regional partnerships are fabulous and really something to look much bigger and much more of a legacy type of thing that we leave the area. So I think in my role of the mayor is really to lead our own community, making sure that we have all the amenities that have attracted people to our community and taking care of them with, whether it's the walking paths or our parks and all those areas, but now to really expand it to the region to say, what are some of those different facilities or are different projects that make sense more at a regional level that we can all gain from. So really looking at the synergy possibilities of working with Martensville, Saskatoon, Cormant Park, and Osler within that P4G group.
What do you see on the horizon then in terms of some of those amenities? We always talk about a curling rink, or some of the smaller cities and towns have an arena. Are there things on the horizon for you there?
Right now, we're at the final processes of approving an expansion to our Warman Home Center Communiplex, and so we've had that for about 10 years, and that's like an indoor soccer center. Like we have, it houses 6 volleyball courts, a full-size hockey rink with 800 seat arena, and then also a little practice rink within there that's artificial ice. So it's a really modern facility, very good facility for that area, and we're just looking how do we add another sheet of ice, because we've haven't been able to host tournaments in Warman. It's that utilized right now that we just need to look at adding a little bit more. So I think that's right now on the horizon. We're always adding different I guess pitches in the sense of soccer pitches and also baseball diamonds. We're looking at all those aspects as we continue to grow. So as we develop a new area, green space is a big part of it. So, and having those connected pathways are another part of it, that because we're a newer city, we've really made it intentional to join our community from one side to the other as far as walking or bike paths.
So it's an integral growth plan that's starting to unfold because you're a young city. And do you have a sense of who's moving there? Do we have a demographic, younger, older? Are they coming from other countries?
We're seeing a little bit of everything. I used to be the vice principal at Warman High School, so I think really it's a younger demographic in general that are moving there. It's first home buyers that are moving because they're seeing the amenities, they're seeing a safe community, so they're seeing all the schools. Like we have 3 elementary schools, middle school, and a high school that have a full complement of programs. So they would compare to any city school in that way. So I think it's the younger families are attracted, which then puts the pressure in some ways on all the facilities because you have all these young people moving up at one time. We'd have about 200 per grade all the way up.
Wow.
Yes.
What happens with some of the population as we mature? Is there a growth plan for seniors or housing or medical type facilities or things like that?
Yeah, and we've really been advocating. We have 3 medical clinics in Warman right now. They're all private. One has just started up with the SHA that has nurse practitioners. So that's been a move in the right direction to have SHA in our community. And with that, we're hoping to move towards a primary care or urgent care center. And I think some of the amenities we really have had in place too, like we have a championship golf course with 5 tee boxes. So, I mean, there's a seniors group that does a lot of golfing there in Warman. Pickleball is also very big with that indoor Warman Home Center Communiplex that they've really been taking advantage of that too. So there's seniors activities that are ongoing all the time within that facility. And we have care homes that are within, some are private, some are more public, but those things are always part of our growing community.
And with that comes, I guess, the pressures of trying to deliver all the services and so on. We hear, snow removal and just those basics. You mentioned the reservoir. Those basic services, do you focus on that and then branch out into the parks and the pathways that you have, or is it kind of an all-encompassing approach that you're taking with council?
That is one of the challenges right now, is trying to do everything for everybody, but at the same time, those core services are what we're known for. You hear about the snow removal in Warman. You hear about how fast it is that the main streets are done right away, that they will get to all the streets, and it's a very strategic plan, a strategic plan for them to get around to all the different areas within our community. We had some challenges last year when we had 2 major dumps in a short period of time, but I think that over time they realized that as we grow, those challenges are there, but we're looking to expand. Actually, our public works this year is another expansion area because the core services are ultimately what we're going to be known for. And so water, again, nobody really gets happy that we're building a brand new lagoon, but at the same time, looking at those wastewater needs and looking at water within our community is something that is always front and center for administration, and making sure that those things are taken care of in every way possible. And waste removal and recycling and all those types of things are important to our community, so we can look at some of the more attractive things like recreation and whether that's indoor or outdoor.
Yeah, it brings about a quality of life for everyone. Commendable. What happens with commercial types of activity or industrial? Do you have any plans for that unfolding in industrial parks, or tying that in with Warman, or with Martinsville or the city?
Yeah, right now we really have commercial that's expanding quite rapidly in 3 different areas. We have it down Centennial, Central, and in our south area. And so each one has different capacities within. Central, we're really trying to revitalize in the sense of some of the stores are new strip malls that are coming in. So we had an older Shop Easy that's there, but now there's new stores that are opening up in that area. And then a brand new area, which did not exist 10 years ago is down Centennial, and so that's where we have places like Shoppers and Starbucks and the Co-op and Bilo and stores like that are really trying to making sure that a resident has everything they need within the City of Warman, that we're able to provide all those aspects. The south is a little bit more industrial, so we're hitting some of those areas, and really when we go our south boundary to Martinsville, it's only kilometers away, a few kilometers away.
What do you see with the access points? I mean, you've got a divided highway north and south, and new roadways planned to the west. Do you get a sense that because it's so easy to get to, that's attractive as well?
Yeah, the interchanges really did make a difference. First of all, double lane highway. That would have been the first aspect, and that's 15, 20 years ago that came. But now the next level was now the interchange getting off the highway into Warman. Much safer. There's 3 access points to get in. They all have acceleration lanes, deceleration lanes to be able to get in, and then the interchange is the obvious one that's going to the newest area up north.
And what is the future holding for you in terms of what you would like to see if you had all the pixie dust in the world? What would you want to see for the City of Warman?
Well, I think the one that we've been spending a fair amount of time with is we really want to take care of that urgent care, primary care in Warman, that medical area, that one that we have to work with the province to let them know that if we take the pressures off the north area, that we can probably take the pressures off of Saskatoon and some of those challenges you have within the city of Saskatoon. We can help with that by not having our residents really having the only option after 5 o'clock is to go to Saskatoon, and usually it's emergency, and then it's if we had those intermediate areas, that would be important. I think that we're always looking at recreational opportunities. The other big one would be a swimming pool. That I think that's a key one that we want to work with Martinsville and Cormant Park and really look at how can that be a regional facility. We all want it, but none of us really want to pay for it, and so it comes to something. How do we put it into all the in a central area for all of us to use? Maybe tying that in with building new schools, new high schools in the area.
Mayor Philipchuk, thank you so much for coming down here and sharing that. You've got a great energy about you, and it's obvious why Warman is one of the fastest growing cities in Canada. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Saskatoon Police Chief Troy Cooper, as well as the Mayor of Warman, Gary Philipchuk. I'm your host, Randy Shabila. We'll see you next time on Connect.